goes the banana. It's a good-looking kick. Goal umpire gives a nod of approval. The responding goal for the Cougars goes courtesy of Jamie Marinoni, who's run all the way off halfback. 1 goal apiece, early stages of the first quarter. A lot of pressure from Southerners down in their forward line, which has been terrific defence under real pressure. But Marinoni made the most of loose checking and has a shot on goal and makes no mistake from 15 metres out. So 2 pretty high talented teams here. First look at Kojonup for me this year, even though we're 2/3 of the way through. Had a good look at Southerners last week. They were terrific in the wet. Ball back in the middle once again. One down there by Ashton, comes straight to him, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up in the middle of the ground. Ashton, veteran for the Cougars, wins the ball down, tries to rove it himself again, comes over to Kabassi, Ben, and he's wrapped up, and once again the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Just left the centre, Kojonup's way, 1 goal apiece, early stage of the first quarter. It's one down there by Jacob. Out the back it comes to Van Verhoosen, looking there for Taylor, reads the ball well and takes a mark right on half-forward flank. He plays on straight away, and he finds the skipper in Travis Sabat, not the skipper, the coach of the Cougars, and he'll have a shot on goal, about 35 metres out, directly in front, to get 2 in a row for the Cougars. Taylor proving a handful early, playing on at all stages. In comes Abbott now. Direct shot on goal. He's pushed it across the face of goal, has he? Or has it done enough? It's just scrapped in for a goal. So the Cougars go back to back. 4 minutes into the first quarter, 2 goals straight, Kojonup. Opening goal to Alex Kabassi. Leaves Southerners at 1 goal straight. A great effort there by Taylor. It's proven to be a handful early in this game. Van Verhoosen off the wing, getting plenty of the ball. So just need to mark him up a little bit now. Young Hamish Omado's got a big job today, playing on the coach for the Cougars in Abbott. It should be joined shortly by his father and his uncle as they look to rotate this bench through. Ball back in the middle once again. 1 down there by Jacob, wins it to himself, just drops the ball onto his boot. Playing in front is Kabassi, Alex, and he takes a great mark at centre half forward. Looks to go short, puts his player under pressure. His brother there and Ben, under extreme pressure they are again. It comes back to Alex Kabassi. Marinoni maintains possession of the ball, gives the ball over to Jamie Marinoni, and he's wrapped up in a terrific tackle by Ben Kabassi. He's been overruled here by the opposing umpire, who's played it as a sling. It looked pretty good from here. Relief there for the Kojonup Cougars as Marinoni, courtesy of a sling tackle. He gets the ball out on the far side of the ground to Giannani, but in front is Jay Ridley and takes a terrific relieving mark for Sutters. Comes inside and finds his skipper in Seaton Thompson. Terrific pick-up for Sutters in the last couple of years. Comes across just in front of the interchange box and finds their ruckman in Jacob. He's got Kabassi running hard for him, and Ben Kabassi takes the mark right on centre wing. Plays loose here, terrific kick, and maintaining possession of the ball. Young Riley Gill takes the mark. He just goes short once again, maintaining possession here at Southerners, and he finds his skipper in Thompson. Tries to put it in there to his full forward, but in front is the big imposing figure of Brent Clark. He's well cut off there, Clark, by Ben Dotty. Back to Clark. They're under pressure once again here, the Kojonup defence, and they take it out of bounds, and the ball will be thrown in about 50 metres out from Southerners' goal. A little unlucky there in the middle of the ground, Southerners. Terrific tackle. Overruled. Deemed as a sling, but forward line pressure from Southerners has been terrific early. As once Jacob, the young ruckman for Southerners, drops what he should have taken and then gives away the free kick. And Van Verhoosen will take the relieving free kick inside defensive 50. A bit sloppy there, Jacob. Should have taken that. Van Verhoosen plays on, comes in front of his own interchange box, looking for Jackson. Over the back. Great defensive spoil there by Lachlan Hughes. And the umpire will come in once again and throw the ball up. Centre wing, 2 goals straight the Cougars, 1 goal straight Southerners. 1 down there by Jackson. Comes to Thompson. and he's wrapped up, and once again the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Jacob doing well in the ruck, wins the ball down to Jack Omaday, and he's proceeded to get the ball onto his boot, and it goes out of bounds. Forward to centre, Sudden's way, trailing by a goal, got the opening goal of the game through this coach in Alex Kabassi. Ball's one out by Jackson, just drives the ball onto his boot, looking for the ever elusive Lee Elusive. Gets a beautiful bounce, it comes back to the coach in Abbott, breaks a tackle, Ridley has a shot on goal, runs into an open goal, and Travis Abbott goes back to back to put the third major on the board for the Kojonup Cougars. 3 goals straight to Southerners, 1 goal straight. Just broke through that tackle too easily there, Abbott. Looks a player. Don't know much about his background. He's got 2 goals early in this quarter. They've made the most of their opportunities going forward, have the Cougars. For all the good work that Southerners have done, Kojonup have had the reply early. But they kicked 3 in a row. Ball back in the middle once again. Ball's one down. Comes to Jackson. Drives the ball on his boot. Looking there for Taylor. Gets his player out of the way. Lucive's there. In amongst the goals. It comes back to Lucive. He's well tackled there by Omaday. Could have been paid dropping the ball. Ball's driven out in the direction of Van Verhoosen. Has been prominent early. He's got Gill there for help. Could have been deemed a throw there, but the umpire says play on. Over the top comes Ridley in the direction of Mitchell Blakers. And he's wrapped up. And just inside Southerners' defensive 50, the umpire will come in once again and throw the ball up. There's a muck around. Jacob wins the ruck knock down. It comes over to Blakers, but he's always wrapped up. Very hot on that one. He's been holding the ball. And Southerners will take the relieving free kick just inside 50, courtesy of Ben Kabassi. He goes wide. Goes in the middle of the ground, puts Ridley under pressure. Over the top comes Taylor. Taylor's got Jeffrey Pethick there for assistance. He has a shot on goal, pushes across the face of goal. Southerners have the numbers here now. It's well gathered there by Jack Omaday. Has time to settle, drives the ball long. Got young Wilson there, and that's a terrific mark by the youngster in Hayden Wilson, right on centre wing. He goes in the middle of the ground. Surrounded by Kojonup players was the skipper in Thompson, but he takes a terrific mark. Decides to go across the ground once again and finds young Hamish Omaday. Plays on straight away now. Beautiful left foot kick. It's a great kick looking there for Callum Sprigg. Thank you. And Sprigg will have a shot on goal from about 55 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Terrific switch of play there by Southerners. Young Hamish Omaday, last year's Colts Association best and fairest, wheeled onto his left boot, covered the territory and gives Sprigg an opportunity to draw one back for the Southerners Footy Club. In he comes now. It's going to land right at top of the goal square. It goes through for a minor score and Southerners go to 1-1 and Kojonup are 3 goals straight. Outer side of the ground, and it finds Abbott, centre wing, far side of the ground. He looks a player, this Travis Abbott. Kicked a couple of goals so far early. He goes short and finds Gibbons. So just maintaining possession here, early stages. First quarter, goes in the middle of the ground, finds Charlie Tonkin. He plays on straight away. Awkward looking kick, asking a fair bit elusive. Over the top comes Hughes, gets a ball down. Kojonup have the numbers now. Handball out to Elusive. He could have been tackled high. Umpire doesn't see it that way. And a great tackle there by the ruckman for Southerners in Tyson Jacob. Wins the relieving free kick inside defensive 50. Has players short if he wants them. Not sure where to go, being called to play on now. Gets over the man on the mark. Over the top comes Ashton, the veteran for Kojonup, puts it into a tricky situation, and it's a great mark taken there by Travis Abbott, and he'll go back from 30 metres out directly in front to shoot for his 3rd in the opening quarter. All leads cut off there for young Jacob. put the ball into a real tricky position, and Abbott's the recipient. Terrific pack mark. He'll come in from 30 metres now. In he comes, deliberate shot on goal. Makes the goal umpire work just a little bit, but I think he's just pushed it across the face of goal, and it goes through for a minor score. So a let off there for Southerners. Abbott's been prominent early. Kicked 2 so far. And from 30 metres out, a huge let off for the Southerners Footy Club. Ball to be brought back into play. Omaday, he finds Kabassi still inside defensive 50, far side of the ground. It's a beautiful looking kick. And he finds young Hamish Omaday. 2 kicks away from Kojonup's goal. Pushes the ball across and the ball goes out of bounds. It's gone out of bounds on the full. So they'll reset again through Giannini, the Kojonup Cougars. Centre wing, far side of the ground, comes inboard and finds O'Shea. He's got players in the middle of the ground. One of them is Tonkin. And he's got Marinoni off halfback all on his own. He's got metres to weigh up his best option here. Has 2 players leading. Goes inside and finds Jermaine Weasel. Still 2 kicks away from goal. Kojonup. He goes long, looking for Abbott. He's going to come from 3 deep. In front is Luciff. Out it comes to Taylor. Taylor gets a handball back out to Weasel. He's still on 50. Puts the ball at the top of the goal square, but a terrific mark is taken there by Jack Kabassi. Goes across goal. Bounces in front of Tom Bendotti. He gets it to Ben Kabassi. Gets around his player with ease. Goes down the far side of the ground and finds Daniel Kabassi. So he goes down, looking there for Callum Sprigg. He's on centre wing. So Sprigg, main option down forward so far. Just puts the ball long. For young Wilson, who took a terrific mark, but over the top comes Mitchell Blake, takes a relieving mark. He goes in the middle of the ground and finds Jackson. Jackson gets the handball off straight away, and Taylor, who's got metres on his opponent, takes the mark. Still 2 kicks out from goal. Players running towards goal. He's going to have to kick it long now. And Tyson Jacob fills the hole and takes a relieving mark just inside defensive 50. He's got a player there in Omaday. He gathers now, drives the ball long. Looking for the coach in Alex Kabassi. He takes a mark, plays on straight away, has a shot on goal. It goes across the face of goal. It's still in play. First back there. Southerners are going to have a snap on goal, but he's hit it thin and it goes through for a minor score. 1-2 now, the home team. Probably 2/3 of the way through the first quarter. 3-1, Kojonup. Ball's brought back into play and finds O'Shea still inside defensive 50. Marinoni runs past once again and he's got Jackson all on his own, just outside defensive 50. One of their stalwarts, Jackson, puts it up, looking for Matthew Marinoni. It's well spoilt. The handball comes back out to Jamie Marinoni. He chucks the ball on the boot, looking there for Taylor. Well spoilt there by Jasper. It comes over to Ben Kabassi. Gets around Taylor with ease and finds Jacob on centre wing. Terrific effort there by Jasper. Down the line goes Tyson Jacob. And the youngster to another youngster finds Hamish Omaday, centre wing. Gets onto his trusty left boot. Goes over the top. And Clark takes a relieving mark for the Cougars inside defensive 50. Another stalwart in Clark. In comes Jacobs. Weasel gets around him easily. Looking there for Taylor. He's got a couple of metres on Jasper and takes the chest mark right in the middle of the ground. Plays on straight away. He's going to look for Luciff. He's got Ridley for company. It's a terrific kick there by Taylor, and Luciff takes the mark. Plays on straight away, has a skipper in Matthew Marinoni, and finds him about 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle to have another shot on goal for the Cougars. Playing on straight away here, Kojonup. Southerners need to be aware of this. Running hard off half back. So the skipper for the Cougars will have a shot on goal from about 30 metres out. In he comes now. Deliberate shot on goal. Umpire doesn't have to move, and he said, that's all clear. So Marinoni, Matthew, puts through another one for the Cougars. So having some really good looks at goal inside that 30-metre range. And the skipper, a star from their premiership a couple of years ago, puts through his first for the day. Ball's back in the middle of the ground. Ashton wins the ruck, goes straight to Ben Kabassi. Moved into the middle of the ground, just sucks the ball onto his boot. In front is Sprigg. It's been dealt with there. The ball comes down to Giannini. He goes out wide and finds Marinoni, but the ball is cut off. Centre wing by another youngster in Sam McRae. He drives the ball long once again. Sprigg tries to get around his opponent. Ball comes out the back. It comes out the back to the skipper in Thompson. And Thompson swoops on that, runs into an open goal and puts it through from 10 metres out to get their second for the quarter. 2 goals to this home team, Southerners. 3 goals, 1 Kojonup. Terrific effort there by Thompson. Terrific contest there by young Sprigg. Thompson was a beneficiary, ran in over the back of the pack, ran into an open goal and made no mistake from the goal square. Been a terrific pickup for this. Yeah, still doing. Ball's come out of the middle. Young Hamish Omaday. Terrific tackle. Slipped over at the inopportune time. Been good down there, young Omaday. Gets the ball over to Jack Omaday. A beautiful looking kick. And he finds young Riley Gill. Gill goes in short. The ball is cut off. Mark could have been paid there to Giannini. Recovers well. Goes in the middle of the ground. Jacob could have attacked it. Waited for it. Ashton got hold of him. And the umpire said you had Pryor. And he'll win the relieving free kick in the middle of the ground. He goes wide. And finds Blakers. Blakers goes wide once again. Looking for Taylor. Taylor's got Jasper for company. Jasper gets him off it. Comes in now. Taylor comes in as well. Unlucky there is young Jasper, and the free kick has been paid to Harry Taylor about 70 metres out from Kojonup's goal. He goes in short and finds the last goal kicker in Matthew Marinoni. He goes in short once again. Mark dropped there by Todd Gibbons. Pressure's back on now. Comes over to Luciv. He gets a handball out to O'Shea. O'Shea gets it back to Gibbons. They're under pressure here. Are the Cougars. Terrific pressure there by Southerners backline, and the ball goes out of bounds about 70 metres out from Kojonup's goal.
Just hang there, Riley, hang there, Riley.
4 goals, 1. The away team, Kojonup. 2 goals, 2, courtesy of an open goal to Seaton Thompson, the skipper. Ball's thrown back in. Jacob gets front position. Kojonup just chucked the ball on the boot, looking there for Luciv. Hughes missed what he should have taken. Luciv sockers it off the ground, and it goes through for a minor score. They just look dangerous when they go forward, the Cougars. Really playing on at all costs. But the young Southerners backline are doing a terrific job. If they can get one just before quarter time, it'll be a terrific quarter of footy. Ball's brought back in, comes across right in front of the Southerners interchange box and finds the young ruckman in Tyson Jacob. Been good so far in this first quarter. Goes down the line looking for young Omade. Hamish, that is. Over the back is O'Shea. He goes in the middle of the ground. Marinoni gets a good bounce. Comes back to O'Shea. Just chucks it onto his boot. In front is Luciv. Knocks the ball forward in the direction of Taylor. Hughes goes the player instead of the man, but he comes back and effects a terrific smother. Comes back to Ridley. Over to Jasper. Puts him under pressure. In comes Jasper once again. Luciv is there. He's got Hughes, and Ridley comes in for pressure. What's the umpire going to see here? He dragged it in, and the Southerners back line hold up once again, and young Lachlan Hughes will take the relieving free kick. He goes short and finds a skipper in Thompson. Still well inside defensive 50. Terrific second effort there by Hughes. Thompson just chucks the ball onto his boot. It goes high, asking a fair bit of Kabassi. He's got Abbott there for company. Been slung to the ground there, young Kabassi, Ben that is. Umpire doesn't see it that way, and will come in and throw the ball up about 2 kicks out from Kojunup's goal. Jacob v Ashton, and it comes over to Abbott. In comes Hamish Omade. Umpire's seen a free kick here. Or has he? Oh, he's going to throw the ball up. I thought he signalled high. Jacob v Ashton once again. Over the top comes Jacob in the direction of Ben Kabassi, who's been terrific in this opening quarter. Chucks the ball onto his boot, and it goes out of bounds on the far side of the ground. Centre wing, 4 goals, 1, 25 Kojonup, 2 goals, 2, 14 Southerners. Terrific first quarter of footy. As one of the stars comes onto the ground in the President in Tommy Collins. Ball's thrown in far side of the ground. Ashton gets front position. Wins it straight down. It comes back to Ashton. Tries to get the handball out. He does that. Over to Marinoni. Pretty hot in the clinches there. Comes over to Ben Kabassi. And he's tackled there by Matthew Marinoni. And the umpire said you had Pryor. And Marinoni, the skipper for the Kojonup, wins a relieving free kick. Centre wing, far side of the ground. He goes in short and finds Norris. Norris comes across into the middle of the ground, and he has Giannani. Gets around his player with ease and has the big fullback in Clark. Clark plays on straight away, comes down in front of the Kojonup interchange box and finds Jamie Marinoni. And that's quarter time here at Pemberton Sports Oval. 4 goals, 1, 25 Kojonup, 2 goals, 2, 14. 13-point leaders to the away side as we go into the first quarter break. So welcome back to the Pemberton Sports Oval. We're at quarter time. Kojonup Cougars hold a 2-goal advantage over Southerners, who kicked the last goal, the first goal of that quarter and the last goal of the quarter, courtesy of Seaton Thompson, their skipper. We'd just like to acknowledge a couple of sponsors before we hook into this second quarter of footy. Triple M and Triple M Rocks Footy, been a major broadcast partner and have come on board this year. Also Taliesin Lithium Mine. So their headquarters are in Perth, leading global lithium production since 1983. And the Greenbushes operation has a rich history dating back in the discovery of tin in 1888. And many of our team members have deep generational ties to the mine. Taliesin is proud to support the global transition to clean energy and equally proud of its contribution to Australia's economy and communities. In 2024, Taliesin contributed over $853.4 million to local, state and federal governments and invested more than $7 million in community projects across the southwest region. We'd like to also acknowledge the league sponsor, Entire Power Management, the reserve sponsor in Retrovision Management, and the Colt sponsor in the East Perth Footy Club. Start of the second quarter here. Rucks knocks one down there by Jackson, comes over to the back to O'Shea, just drives the ball on his boot. I don't know if that went 15, but Blake has said, I'll take it in the middle of the ground. He drives the ball long, looking there for Abbott, and Abbott takes a terrific mark in front of young Hamish Omaday, and we'll have the opening shot on goal in the second quarter from about 35 metres out, directly in front. And Travis Abbott, coach of the Kojonup Footy Club, first time this year, 2 goals in that opening quarter. He looks to start in the best possible way for Kojonup. Comes in now, direct shot on goal. He's made the umpire work a little bit, but he's done enough. And in the opening minute of the second quarter, Kojonup get the first goal, courtesy of Travis Abbott, and move to 5 goals, 2-32. And Southerners yet to score in this second quarter, 2 goals, 2-14. Terrific first quarter of footy. Young Southerners' back line held up really well, especially with their second efforts. They found one there in Abbott, who's only started playing about 3 or 4 games into the season. It looks to be a real difference as Kojonup push into the finals. Ball back in the middle once again. It's one down there by Jacob. Clearance comes out of the middle via Kojonup in the direction of Weasel. Jermaine gets a handball over to Sam Jackson, just chucks it onto his left boot. Taylor plays in front. He gets a handball out to the skipper in Matthew Marinoni. He's got time to weigh his options. And he picks a beautiful option there. And from about 40 metres out from goal, Jeffrey Pethick will have a shot on goal to go back-to-back inside the opening minute and a half of the second quarter. Just had a bit too much time there. In he comes now. It's trying to come around. It's working quite hard. He's just gone across the face and goes through for a minor score. Really need to man up in the middle. Southerners just giving too much time to the Marinonis and the Jacksons of the Kojonup side to assess and hit the right target. Ball's brought back into play once again. Far side of the ground, he goes short and finds the president in Tommy Collins. Just about tackled there, puts him off his kick. Ball in dispute, far side of the ground. It comes over to Tom Bendotti, who was good in that first quarter. He's got Kabassi, and Kabassi takes a mark just outside 50. Ben Kabassi goes across goal, looking for his skipper there in Thompson. He's going to be surrounded by 2 or 3 Kojonup players. Gets the handball out to Jacob. Great pick up by the big man. Just took a little bit too much time. And Pethick is the recipient of a great tackle on the young ruckman for Southerners. Plays on now, drives the ball long, looking for Weasel. Goes over him and Jasper's head. Out the back is Omade, could have been pushed in the back. Comes over to Ridley. Ridley's well tackled. In the middle of the ground it comes to Giannini. It's O'Shea. O'Shea gets around Alex Kabassi with ease. Puts the ball down in front of Taylor. He's got Hamish Omade there for company. Needs some help there to young Omade. Could have been tackled high, was Jamie Marinoni. And the umpire sees it that way. Plays on straight away. Taylor's there all on his own. Over the top comes Collins. Tom, that is. Comes back once again. Terrific effort there by Tommy Collins. All class. Gets around his opponent with ease. Comes over to Ben Kabassi. He's mucking around with it here as comes to Jamie Marinoni. Terrific tackle on the far side of the ground. Van Verhoosten gets the ball down, just chucks it onto his boot. And Harry Taylor takes the mark. Another shot on goal. He gets the ball over to Luciv. Luciv with ease. Too much ease as he's pushed that across the face of goal, and it goes through for a minor score. A really unselfish play by Kojonup in their forward line. Looking to play on at all costs. Ball's brought back into play. It comes to McRae. He goes backwards, changing play. Goes on the far side of the ground and finds Kabassi. He goes inside, and Collins, who's only been on for 4 or 5 minutes, is making a real impact down back. He goes short, asking a fair bit there of Ridley. Ball hung in the air too long, and it goes out of bounds, centre wing. 5 goals for Kojonup, 34, 2 goals, 2, 14, 20 points in front, the home side Southerners. The ball's thrown in once again, thrown in a little bit short. The umpire says you'll have to reload that, son, and throw it in once again. Jacob for Southerners versus Jackson. Just having a little bit of trouble on the far side of the ground, and he'll reset and have another go. This time he gets it right. It's one down there by Jacob. The ball's wrapped up, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Just right of centre, Kojonup's way. 20 points in front of the home team, Southerners. They've got the opening 2 goals in this second quarter. Ball comes back out to Marinoni. Chucked on the boot there by Gibbons. Comes over to Taylor. Terrific spoil. Back to Luciv. Luciv's on his own. He's soccer this through. The ball doesn't bounce kindly for him. And Southerners' defence is working overtime, and they get the ball out and find Ben Kabassi still inside defensive 50, far side of the ground. Has players short if he wants him, decides to go down the boundary line. Looking there for Sprigg, but he's well spoilt there by Marinoni, and the ball goes out of bounds and will be thrown in centre wing. Terrific effort there, nearly a gimme for Lee Luciv in the goal square, but Southerners' defence got back and got the ball out without conceding a point. Ball's thrown in, and the umpire once again will come in and throw the ball up about 2 kicks out from Kojonup's goal. 10 minutes into this second quarter. Kojonup still in front. 5 goals 4 to 2 goals 2. They get the ball out to Van Verhoosten. Chucks it onto his left boot. Taylor gets his player under the ball. Wins possession of the ball. Gets a handball over. Puts his teammate under pressure. He's well tackled, and they have the numbers here. In comes Van Verhoosten once again, but he's well tackled there by Ben Kabassi, and the ball goes out of bounds. Right on the 50-metre line. Kojonup's end. Terrific tackle there by young Kabassi, Ben. They've been terrific so far in this game. Ball's thrown in once again. No one wins the ball down. Directly it comes over to the skipper in Thompson. He's got Hughes. Gets onto his left boot. Looking there for McRae. McRae misses a mark he should have taken, but recovers well. Gets it over to the skipper and Alex Kabassi. He gets around 2 or 3 players. He's got Seaton Thompson there, the skipper. Gets it back. Looking for Kabassi. In comes Sprigg. Now they're in trouble. In comes O'Shea. They have the numbers here. Mitch Blakers tries to get around his opponent. Umpire said you had too long. And the relieving free kick will be won in the middle of the ground by the skipper in Alex Kabassi. Looking there for his brother in Ben. Well spoilt by Van Verhoosten. It comes over the top to O'Shea. He just chucks the ball onto his boot. In front is Harry Taylor. He's got Weasel there for company. Tries to get around. Finds a bit of soft ground. There's a fair bit of that out there. Hamish Omadei. Over to Jack Omadei. He gets the ball out. They have the numbers here. Wilson just chucks the ball onto his boot. Far side of the ground. Still in play. They're working hard over there. His son, as it comes back out to Jack Kabassi, who just chucks the ball onto his boot. Seaton Thompson, who's been terrific, gets a handball over to Sprigg. They get inside 50 now, and the mark is taken there by Daniel Kabassi. Too far out to score. Goes in the middle of the ground looking for brother Alex. Asks a fair bit of him. He's surrounded by 4 Kojonup Cougar defensive players. It comes out the back to Clancy Norris. Handball now in the middle of the ground. And that goes to Travis Abbott, who's worked his way into the centre of the ground. He plays on straight way around Jacob and has Sam Jackson. He's going to have Tommy Collins for company. Went for the mark, Dick Collins, then comes back in for a second effort. Young Hughes comes in. What's the umpire going to call here? He comes in and the ball will be thrown up centre wing. Right in front of the commentary box here. Terrific effort there by Collins and Hughes. No ruckman wins the ball down clearly. Comes back to Southerners ruckman in Jacob. He just chucks the ball onto his boot. McRae's in front. Ooh, big hit there on Lachlan Hughes. Would have shook him up a bit. It comes over to Kabassi. Drives the ball long. Over the back. Terrific mark there is taken by Callum Sprigg. And Sprigg will have a shot on goal from about 40 metres out. 45-degree angle to get Southerners first for the second quarter. Young Hughes a little bit worse for wear there. Got met front on. Come off in the first quarter with a blood nose, but I think this will take his mind off it just for a little bit. In comes Sprigg now. Silky left footer. Pushes that across the face of goal. Will it stay in play? They have the numbers here in Bendotti. But across the front comes Kyron Hayden and the ball goes out of bounds. Will be thrown in about 10 metres out from Southerners' goal. Sprigg to do the ruck work here against Clark. As it comes over to Ben Kabassi, has a snap on goal. It goes across the face of goal and goes out of bounds, this time on the opposite side. And the ball will be thrown in about 15 metres out from Southerners' goal. I need a goal here, the home team. Kojonup have had all the play, but they haven't put them away just yet. It's a real dangerous spot here. Up goes Sprigg, gets front position, taps the ball over the back. In comes Seaton Thompson, the skipper has a snap on goal! Touch right on the line by Clancy Norris. Terrific effort there by Seaton Thompson. And Norris holding that goal square. Touches it before it goes over the line. Kicks the ball back in, but all he's done is find Tom Bendotti. Tom Bendotti puts it onto his boot. Back to Norris. In comes Sprigg. Has Sprigg got enough? Umpires consulting. Touch ball. Young Sprigg come in. Tom Bendotti cut that pass off for all the good work that Norris done. Southerners couldn't make him pay as the ball come back. They play on once again. Giannini drives the ball long right in front of us here. In they come. They spoil each other, do Southerners. Comes over to Lucif. He gets a handball out to Kyron Hayden. It's getting tough in there now. In comes Kabassi, in comes Lucif. And the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be thrown in. Right in front of the commentary box, right in front of Southerners' interchange box. 3 goals, 2. Southerners, 5 goals, 4. Kojonup. Ball's one down there by Jacob. It comes to Lucif. In comes Kabassi. And Kabassi once again has been pinged for a sling. Lucif wins that. Marinoni gets his player out of the way with these. Gets onto his left boot. Looking there for Blakers. And Blakers takes a terrific contested mark in front of Omaday and will go back and have a shot on goal from about 35 metres out, directly in front. Unlucky there, Ben Kabassi. Terrific tackle. Umpire let it go for a couple of seconds longer. He's pinged for a sling. And now Blakers, courtesy of a couple of kicks, a beautiful kick in the middle of the ground to Marinoni, will go back to put another goal on the board for the Cougars. And Mitch Blakers, missed a year of footy last year, and he comes now, doesn't waste any time, leans back on that one and goes across the face of goal and through for a minor score. Young Hamish Omaday brings the ball back in. He goes short and finds his skipper in Seaton Thompson. He's been terrific today. Goes down the far wing and finds Sprigg. Drives the ball long. He's got Kabassi there. Kabassi's outnumbered 2-1. That's Daniel Kabassi. In he comes, could have been taken high. That's Ben Kabassi. Plays on straight away. Drives the ball there looking for Daniel Kabassi. And he's taken the mark. Probably too far out to goal, right on 50. He's got to play short if he wants him, and that's his brother. And he goes and finds Ben Kabassi, and he'll have a shot on goal, right on the boundary line from about 30 metres out to get one back for the home side. Been terrific so far today, Ben Kabassi. This will test him though. 35 metres out. In he comes now. It's a good looking kick on goal. It's just going to land a little bit short. And Ashton sees the ball over the boundary line. Will be thrown in about 10 metres out from Sudner's goal. 2 goals, 2 home side. 5 goals, 5. Kojonup. Ball 1 down in the direction of Wilson. In comes Tom Bendotti for help and rushes the ball over the boundary line, and it'll be thrown in about 40 metres out from Sudner's goal. We're moving the time on in this second quarter. Kojonup have increased their lead just by the solitary goal. Ashton gets Sprigg out of the way with ease. It comes over to Kyron Hayden, but he's wrapped up, and the umpire will once again come in and throw the ball up. Sprigg goes up against Ashton, wins the ball down. Hayden's there. Ashton's there. In they come once again. A little bit close to the goal now. 40 metres out. The umpire once again will come in and throw the ball up. Up goes Sprigg. Wins it down to Woods. Ridley. In comes Ashton. Terrific tackle there by Tom Bendotti and Jay Ridley. And once again the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Have the numbers here. It comes over to Hayden. Hayden gets it over to Jamie Marinoni. He goes short looking for Abbott, and Abbott takes a terrific mark in front of his eyes, in front of his opponent in Jack Omaday. He goes short once again. He's got Weasel there. Over the top comes Jacob, and with a terrific spoil, puts the ball over the boundary line. Right on centre wing. Right in front of us here. The ball is pushed out of bounds. Jacob up against Ashton, wins the ball down in the direction of Seaton Thompson. It comes over to Hayden, comes into Todd Gibbons, and he's dragged it in. And the relieving free kick will be taken by the youngster in Riley Gill. He goes short and finds Tom Bendotti. Still too far out, still 2 kicks out from goal. Kojonup have the numbers back, decides to go short. Puts it over, they have the numbers here. It comes over to Ridley, over to Alex Kabassi. He has a shot on goal. Has it got the carry? No, it hasn't. The mark is taken there by Norris once again. He's getting the numbers back here. Decides to go long. Sudden's had the numbers here. Young Gill drops the mark that he should have taken. Pethic's there. In comes Tom Bendotti. Oh, he's tackled well there by Gibbons. Holds one hand up. And Gibbons will win the relieving free kick. Just outside defensive 50. Just about ready to handball it off there was young Bendotti, but one of his arms was missing and he got done for a throw as Gibbons goes short and finds a skipper in Matthew Marinoni. He goes short once again, and Taylor in front of Jasper takes the mark right in front of the interchange box. He goes short once again, and in the middle of the ground, Jamie Marinoni takes the mark. Has Clark running past. He's been called to play on now. Drives the ball long. Has a player all on his own. And the mark is taken by Lottie. Lottie had Gibbons for company. He decides to go down, and why wouldn't you? As Travis Abbott takes another terrific mark. He plays on straight away, and Lucif takes the mark, and will have a shot on goal from about 45 metres out on a slide angle to get another one on the board for the away side. I don't know if he's got the leg from here, Lee Lucif. He's not renowned for passing off either. In he comes now. Oh, it's a terrific looking kick. I might have underestimated him. I have. As Lucif from 45 metres goes back and says, not today, Weave, and puts through another one for the Cougars. As they go to 6 goals, 5, 41 to the home side, 2 goals, 2, 14. Terrific effort there by Lucif. Travis Abbott is proving a real thorn in Southern's side, especially down forward. Terrific marks in front of his eyes. And it's proving a handful. Set up Lucid for his first goal of the match. Ball back in the middle once again. It's one down by Jacob for Southerners in the direction of Seaton Thompson. In there was Gibbons. And Thompson comes back in and the ball will be thrown up in the middle of the ground once again. Jacob gets best position, puts it down in front of Gibbons, but he's wrapped up by Ben Kabassi. And once again, the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Could have been held there, was Jacob. Ball's one down. Umpire's seen a free kick, not the officiating umpire. The free kick will go the way of Pethick for the Cougars. Starting to work his way into the game. He goes long, looking there for Taylor. Taylor comes out front, over to Gibbons. Abbott just chucks the ball onto his boot. He's got Hayden there. Hayden tries to get around his opponent. He does now. Will he have a shot on goal? Goes to Banana, but he's pushed it right across the face of goal, and it goes out of bounds on the full. And Southerners through Hughes will take the relieving free kick deep in defence. Lachlan Hughes goes short and finds Ridley. Still inside defensive 50. Working hard here are the home side as Ridley goes short and finds McRae just outside defensive 50. And told to play on now. He goes long. They have the numbers here, do the Cougars, and over the top comes Abbott once again. He drives the ball long. He's got Taylor. Well done there by Jasper. In front is Luciv Crumming. Just drives the ball onto his boot. They have the numbers here. Gibbons runs onto it. In comes Ben Kabassi and puts enough pressure on and rushes the ball over for a minor score. 6 goals, 642. 28 points in front of the home side. 2 goals, 214. Yet to score a major in this second quarter. Ball's brought back in once again. Ben Kabassi plays on, gains some metres out of the goal square. In front is Jacob. Could have been paid a free kick, and the umpire sees it that way. And the youngster, the young ruckman for Southerners, will take the relieving free kick, far side of the ground, centre wing. But a player short if he wants him. He wants him and he finds him, and that's Jack Omaday. He plays on straight away, goes to changes play and comes over to his skipper in Seaton Thompson. Could have been taken high, gets out of the tackle. Puts in front of Riley Gill. Gill's got O'Shea for company. O'Shea gets the youngster out of the way, puts the ball down and finds Hayden centre wing. He's got players running for him. One of them is Van Verhoosen. He gets a handball over, finds young Sam Jackson. Jackson puts a beautiful pass in front of the eyes of Harry Taylor. Taylor plays on straight away, finds O'Shea. O'Shea runs on, has a shot on goal. And from halfback, O'Shea has put through another one for the Cougars. 7 goals, 648. The home side stuck on 2 goals, 214. Terrific running effort there by O'Shea. Won the ball right in front of the commentary box. Got the youngster Gill out of the way. Couple of nice passes, the handball. Deep in time bond in the second quarter. Just starting to stretch this margin now, Kojonup. 7 goals, 6 to 2 goals, 2. Ball back in the middle of the ground. Jacob wins the ball down. He comes straight to Blakers. He just chucks the ball onto his boot. Over to Pethick. Pethick gets it back to Blakers. Blakers looks down and looking for Hayden. And Hayden in front of his opponent takes a terrific mark. And will go back to have a shot on goal from about 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Kyron Hayden, been terrific today so far. Looks a player. They have some potency up forward with him, Abbott. Blakers can run through there. Also Harry Taylor and Luciv. In he comes now, Hayden. Terrific looking kick. Umpire doesn't have to move. And Kyron Hayden goes back and kicks another one for the Cougars to get his first for the day. 8 goals, 6, 54. 2 goals, 214 Southerners, who are yet to score a major in this second quarter. making the most of their opportunities at Kojonup. Oh, 3. Ball back in the middle of the ground, and the umpire comes in and will throw the ball up exactly where he started. Jacob wins the ball down in the direction of Gill. In comes Ryan Bellotti, and he's been deemed to drag it on, and young Riley Gill will take the relieving free kick in the middle of the ground. He'll go long looking there for Sprigg. Sprigg's got a few to deal with. Nelly takes the mark. In comes Wilson, and in comes the umpire and will throw the ball up just inside forward 50 for the home side. Jacob wins the ball down. All he does was hit it straight to Luciv. Comes over to Gill. He's been good. Gets a handball over to Alex Kabassi. He's going to go short, and he'll find Sprigg inside 50. And Callum Sprigg will have a shot on goal from about 45, 50 metres out, directly in front, to get one back for the home side. And he comes now, silky left footer. It's a good looking kick. Has it got the carry? Has it got the carry? It's definitely got the carry. Courtesy of the youngster Riley Gill, over to the coach and Alex Kabassi, hits young Callum Sprigg lace out, and from 50 metres, Sprigg goes back and gets another one for the home side. He's worked really hard down there as Sprigg. He's got 2 or 3 defenders on him, really looks a player. That's a terrific kick as we move into time on, deep in time on in the second quarter. 50 metres out, that's an excellent kick by young Callum Sprigg. And young Riley Gill has been involved in a lot of forward 50 entries for the Southerners Footy Club. Ball back in the middle once again. Jacob goes up, wins the ball down, comes back to him. He's getting on top of Ashton now. Ball comes to Hayden. He's wrapped up there by Kabassi, Alex Kabassi, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up once again. Doing well now is Jacob. Comes to Seaton Thompson. But Van Hoosen is there for Kojonup. He's got McRae for company as the siren goes at half time. With Kojonup holding 28-point lead, 8 goals 6, 54 to the home side. The Southerners Footy Club, 4 goals 2, 26.
put that on wherever it was comfortable in the jacket or your shirt. Do you want to run early to chat a little before the next quarter starts?
Yeah, I reckon we might. And
Sure.
what I've got to mention filming footy.
Sure. Yeah.
Which Rowett asked me to do.
Yep.
I've mentioned the two major sponsors.
Brilliant.
So I've read out that email, but I'll keep mentioning them just in passing.
Perfect.
Could talk. Yeah. No, good. I just don't think that scores 100% correct.
No.
I think they're 3 goals.
Yeah, I think that one that got called touch on the line.
Yeah. They might be 2 goals 4 maybe. So welcome back to the Pemmican Sports Oval. Still half time here. Kojonup holding a commanding lead, 8 goals 6. We think it's 2 goals 4, but we get confirmation as the goal umpires come out after half time. We'll be joined by Berin Cax, the operations manager of the Lower South West Footy League shortly, but just like to mention that for the first time in a very long time, and Berin will talk a bit more about that, we're sending a senior Country Week side away, and that'll be on Filming Footy, the Country Week champs. All games are free, and they're on www.youtube.com/Filming Footy. So it's a great initiative to have these games where we are today, but to do the country championships as well is a terrific thing. We also like to thank our major sponsors or broadcast partners in Triple M, which rocks footy, and Taliesin Lithium. So welcome, Berin. Haven't seen you for a couple of weeks, mate. It's a little bit different conditions than what it was a couple of weeks ago. But firstly of all, I mean, how's the Country Week side looking?
Yeah, it's looking good. I think Gavin will confirm that team once we come out of tomorrow's games, the last of them, Imperials and Dean Mill tomorrow afternoon. So Gavin will send through the squad. That has to be submitted Monday morning. But I think fair to say there's probably 9 or 10 players that we're watching today who I suspect will feature prominently in that squad.
It's, I mean, I know Southerners are a little bit behind at half time, but they're having their fair share of the footy. I just can't seem to get a major on the board. But I mean, I haven't seen anything of Kojonup this year other than the scores that have been coming through. But geez, that coach looks a player, doesn't he, down forward? I'm not sure of his history. If you've got any history on him, because he's got a fair set of mitts on him, and he's really looking very potent at the forward end of the ground.
Yeah, look, Abbott spent, I believe, time at South Fremantle. Yep. Outstanding player, quality pedigree. He's been a really good get for them as a coach this year, in addition to his playing. And yeah, he's looked really, really strong around the ground. I mean, Tyson Jacobs been fantastic with his tap work, and it's probably been pretty line ball with the ruck work. But yeah, Abbott has been class around the ground.
Yeah, he just looks a player, doesn't he? I mean, you put him up there, and we've talked about Kojonup a little bit. Then you've got Harry Taylor, you've got Mitch Blakers, who's playing a little bit in the midfield now, but a couple of years ago he played as a power forward. He was their main forward focal point when they won their premiership, when they tied the game after the siren to go in extra time. Lee Luciv, they just look real quality when they get it down there, and they're very unselfish to pass the ball around to get those players in a better position to make sure of a major.
Yeah, look, they've worked well as a team, and look, credit to Southerners as well. You know, they're a little bit undermanned today, and the first half has played out, a really good spirited contest. So good game of footy. Nice to see the sun back out, and looking forward to a really good second half.
Yeah, I've been impressed. If we move over to Southerners, I think young Lockie Hughes has been terrific. He said, as we call in the call, he had a blood nose in the first quarter, and then he got met front on in the second quarter. So he's welcome to league footy, but he's acquitted himself quite well and stood up. And young Riley Gill doesn't look out of place in the league side. I've been impressed with him. And like Sam McRae, I mean, he's a terrific young player with plenty of wheels on the wing. So they've got some really good talent. Of course, Tyson Jacob in the ruck is a very tall young ruckman, but up against the wily veterans in Jackson and Ashton, he's looked not out of place either.
No, not at all. And you mentioned Riley Gill there. I think he's been a real find for them today. He's been fantastic. Yeah,
I don't know much about him. I think his sister is Holly, that was playing AFLW, not AFLW, but Waffle W, so very tall, but yeah, he's got very good foot skills. Young Hamish Omadei doesn't look out of place down back either, so he's going to be a terrific player if he stays here. And while we're on the Omadeis, without going on too much, this, I don't know if it's a first, but we've got two father and sons playing today. So Paul is the father of Hamish and Nathan is the father of Jack. So that's a terrific effort. That's country footy at its finest, isn't
Absolutely, yeah. It's fantastic to see. I mean, we talk about it being community football, but fantastic to see families out there having a kick together, and, you know, that's what it's all about.
I mean, we all talk about numbers, but you do what you have to do to keep your clubs in play. As the ball comes down forward, Kabassi has a shot on goal for the opening score of the third quarter, but it just goes through for a minor score. 8 goals 6, Kojonup. That scoreboard has been adjusted. 3 goals 4 at half time, now moves to 3 goals 5. So 31 point leaders are Kojonup. Sutton's getting a fair share of the footy. They just can't seem to score a major at this stage.
So going back to Riley Gill, I think today his second league game of football. He's been playing mostly Colts and a bit of reserve so far this season. And look, remarkable young lad. He was playing year 8-9 footy last year. So, you know, again, welcome to league footy, and he stepped up with a need today. And as I say, he hasn't looked out of place at all.
And then there's quite a few others out there, like young Hayden Wilson. He doesn't look out of place either. So you can be playing age footy one year and it's not long in the country before you're up in the seniors and getting amongst it. As once again the ball comes forward and there's that man we spoke about just before the start of this third quarter, the coach in Travis Abbott. Decides to go short this time, has Luciv well in front of his opponent in Tom Bendotti. And knowing Lee as I do, I don't think he'll pass this one off, Berrin.
No,
it's not in his nature. 30
that.
metres out, directly in front to get the opening goal of the third quarter. Kick one in the second did Luciv. And he comes now, a little bit of a Josh Kennedy stutter, deliberate shot on goal. He's pushed that across the face of goal for a minor score. So I let off there for the home side, searching for their first goal. Didn't score a goal in that second quarter, had a few opportunities. They really need one now just to get themselves back into the game. I think when you come into league footy, Berrin, is when you're surrounded by players like the Kabassis and the Seaton Thompson, I think you just get that confidence as a young person, because they are top shelf. So you can certainly come in and get under under their wing, and away you goes. Kabassi gets the ball down to Hughes. Hughes has a couple of bounces, drives the ball long, but across comes O'Shea and affects a terrific smother. And the ball goes out of bounds, about 2 kicks out from Sutton's goal. O'Shea just lets Hughes know what he'd done there. He's been terrific, Hughes. Stood up in a couple of crunching tackles today, but just unfortunate there as O'Shea come through and affected a brilliant smother.
He's a class player, Hughes, and he's toughed it out today. He's taken a couple of big hits and he's back on his feet and got himself into some real space then.
Ball comes out here to Ben Kabassi, who's been terrific. Drives the ball down looking for and finding Hayden Wilson. But one of those youngsters we spoke about, taking the mark just on 50. Tries to go short, goes over the top of Spriggs' head. Comes back. Giannini, no, it's Clark. Clark gets the ball out. Pressure there, comes to Kabassi. What can he do? Over to Van Houston. Into Blakers. Blakers goes short and finds Sam Jackson right on the half-back line. Kojonup defence. Terrific stalwart Sam Jackson. Looks there for Taylor. In front comes Jasper. Drops what he should have taken. Recovers now. Gets the handball out to Ridley. Doesn't get the bounce he wanted. Well met there by Van Verhoosen. Giannini, and the ball will be thrown up. Centre wing. 8 goals 6 Kojonup. 3 goals 5 the home side in Suddeners. Ball comes down in the direction of Hughes, but the umpire's seen a free kick and it'll go the way of the skipper, Ed Matthew Marinoni. A family synonymous with Kojonup. Terrific people as he goes short and finds Blakers. Blakers right in front of the coach's box of Suddeners. Goes towards Luciv. Luciv's made to work hard as Luciv flames a handball. Man on the mark, Hamish Omadei moved. The umpire deemed he moved off the mark, and a 50-metre penalty is paid, and Lucifer will go back and have a shot on goal from about 10 metres out. Slide angle, comes in now and goes bang.
And again, we talk about what country football's all about. Harry Taylor giving Hamish Omadai a little pat on the back then, and perhaps a bit unlucky with the 50. Not sure we're supposed to be faking to play on and rewarding that. But look, sometimes we just roll with them, and yeah, Harry Taylor having a humorous little bit of byplay there with the hammer.
I think everyone appreciates where people come from, because we're all young once and you come through the ranks and, you know, we're playing against each other as opponents, but it's good to see that. Harry Taylor's got a lot of experience, and I've done to death that rule. I'm not a big fan of it. Actually, I hate it, to be perfectly honest. And all it does is bring the opposition into play. So ball back in the middle, comes over there to Taylor. Taylor looks there for elusive. Tom Bendotti's got front position. Ball bounces up for him, gets a handball over there to Jack Omadai. Omadai goes on the far side of the ground and finds the young ruckman for Southerners in Jacob just outside defensive 50. Got players running down the wing for him. Decides to go long now. Goes over the top there of Riley Gill. Far side of the ground. In they come once again. Tries to get the handball over to Kabassi. Ball still in play. Comes here to Giannani. Goes inside and finds Mitch Blakers right on the centre square, centre wing. Plays on now. Looking there for Luciv. He's got 5 metres in front of Bendotti. Got time to assess his options. Tries to get the handball over to O'Shea. Here comes to Seaton Thompson. He's wrapped up there by O'Shea, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Centre half forward, Kojonup's end.
And we talk about leaders who can teach these young guys coming to the side. There's one there, Seaton Thompson. He just delivers week after week after week, and hoping and excited to see him in action next week for the Lower South West.
Well, he's been a terrific pickup for the Southerners Footy Club. Played at Bullout Brook, might have won a premiership there as well. Moved over here, and he was terrific a couple of weeks ago, and probably the most trying conditions I've ever seen. So really leads from the front, and terrific effort as a skipper of that side. On the far side of the ground, Sam McRae takes a mark just outside defensive 50. Decides to go long. It's a wobbly looking kick. Comes back to Hayden. Hayden gets a handball over to O'Shea, who's been terrific in this game. Ball goes long. Over the top comes Omadai. Could have been paid the mark. Umpire doesn't see it that way as Gibbons wrapped him up, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up about 40 metres out from Kojonup's goal. Comes back to Omadai. He's met high. And Omadai wins the free kick just inside defensive 50. He's got Hughes short. Goes down the far side of the ground. Waits for it, does there. Gill in front. In comes Van Verhoosten. Gets a handball out. Umpire said, play on now advantage. It comes to Ben Kabassi. He drives the ball out in front of brother Daniel. Tries to keep the ball in and does so. The Kabassi boys combining well. Gets it over to Alex. Drives the ball long, but it carries over the top of all the Southerners players. And Brent Clark takes the relieving kick inside defensive 50 for Kojonup. He goes wide and finds Van Verhoosen. Plays in the middle of the ground now. Goes to O'Shea. He plays on straight away, and he'll look for his skipper and find him in Matt Marinoni, centre wing. Commentary side, got Gibbons short if he wants him. Abbott here, he's got a strong set of hands. Decides to go into the middle of the ground, and he has Jackson right in the centre of the ground here. 9 goals 6 Kojonup, 3 goals 5 Southerners as Harry Taylor takes a mark. Still inside the centre square. He goes short once again looking for Abbott, but in front a terrific mark is taken there by Jack Omadai in front of Abbott. Bit of friendly fire. Southerners player down there in Bendotti, but he's up now. Terrific effort there by Jack Omadai. Defensive mark just inside defensive 50. He's got Kabassi wide, and Ben Kabassi takes the mark. Still just inside defensive 50. He goes long now. He's looking for Jacob. He has the height in front. Comes over the back to Alex Kabassi. He's wrapped up there by Norrish, and the umpire. He's seen a free kick here.
Yeah, he's played a trip, I believe.
Kabassi plays on straight away. and finds Jack Omadei, who then finds Daniel Kabassi. He goes short, and the mark has been taken by Callum Sprigg. And Sprigg will have a shot on goal from about 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle. He looks good down there, Sprigg. Kicked a terrific goal in the second quarter from range. So we know he's got the leg. And right behind this one, 45 metres out, Callum Sprigg. In he comes now. He's trying to work it back. He's hit it just a little bit thin and it goes through for a minor score.
Good to see Southerners get some reward for effort. If anything, the difference between the two sides in the midfield hasn't been great today, I don't think. Probably Kojonup have just been able to get that last kick inside 50 with more regularity. Good to see that one pan out, and albeit not a goal, but good to see them put a chain together and take a mark inside 50.
Well, they've definitely come in with a plan, haven't they, Kojonup? They play on at all costs, so you think the big power forward is going to kick a goal, and all of a sudden he's hitting it short. As Ben Kabassi has a shot on goal. Has it got enough? It has! Ben Kabassi. Marinoni brought the ball in. Luciv dropped what he should have taken, and Ben Kabassi was there for company. Gets around a couple of players, and from 45, a tight angle, puts through a terrific goal. Southerners' first goal of the quarter.
Great kick on the run, and he was a long way out, and he was heading further. I think he ended up sort of between the cars on his celebration, but yeah, fantastic kick.
Just great reward for effort there. As you said, they've had fair share of the footy. They just haven't got the score on the board. But that was a terrific kick there by Kabassi. He's been terrific today.
He has.
And their foot skills are second to none. And a loose effort there by Kojonup in the back line, and Southerners made him pay. Ball back in the middle of the ground. Thompson in front. Seaton Thompson for Southerners, and he wins the free kick. It's across the side of the ground. Looking there for Sprigg once again. He's got Alex Kabassi, the coach, for support. Gets the player off probably illegally, comes over to Jackson. Jackson tucks the ball onto his boot, wins it back down to Jamie Marinoni, and Marinoni finds Weasel on the far side of the ground, centre wing.
He's been really involved in a lot of their good chains forward today, Weasel. Really good link-up man.
And Pethick takes the mark, passed by Weasel, still too far out to go from goal. Goes in short. And Brad Ashton illegally gets rid of Jacob, and Jacob takes the relieving free kick. Makes Ben Kabassi the last goal kicker for Southerners work hard. He's got Pethick there for company. In comes Kabassi once again. Gets a handball out in the direction of Jay Ridley. Gets around his player with ease. Comes to Thompson. He was under pressure. Just chucks the ball onto his boot towards Gill. But in front, Giannini takes the mark. Goes down the far side of the ground and finds Bellotti, centre wing.
Really well set up behind the ball, and Kojonup created a 2-on-1 where that next kick was going, and created the turnover, but now they've kicked it straight to Kabassi, and another opportunity for Southerners.
They just get themselves in the right spot, the Kabassi, so that's a beautiful kick, and he finds Gill, centre wing, far side of the ground. It looked in from here as he comes inside and finds Jay Ridley. So just trying to maintain possession here, Southerners. Terrific goal by Kabassi. They want to build on that. Looks for the coach there, and Alex goes over his head. Comes back to Bellotti. He just chucks the ball onto his boot, and all he's done is find Tom Bendotti all on his own. Plays on straight away. Goes to Jack Omadei. He's got Lockie Hughes there on his own, but the ball goes over his head and goes out of bounds about 70 metres out from Southerners' goal. Just that last chain there, Baron, it's a good setup. Players behind the ball, Southerners just missed that last target.
It's a really interesting contrast in styles. We see Southerners taking care of the footy and taking their time, finding that next kick, finding someone in space, and Kojonup, as you say, they play on at all costs. They move the ball with pace, and it's a really interesting contrast in styles at the moment.
Ball's won out of that contest by Luciv. He just chucks the ball onto his boot. But Tom Bendotti, who's been terrific today, he's copped a couple of big ones as well, takes a relieving mark in the centre of the ground. Being told to play on now, has to go long, goes down the middle of the ground, in front of Sprigg, but in front of him is Van Verhoosen, and he takes a terrific contested mark just outside defensive 50. He goes wide, finds Clark. Clark plays on straight away and finds Abbott. He has O'Shea on his own. and O'Shea takes the mark right in front of the Kojonup interchange box. Ball's been touched, looking there for Gibbons. Just goes out of bounds. Umpire put his hand up, comes over to Hughes, but he's well tackled there by Taylor, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Centre wing, in between the two interchange boxes. 9 goals 6 Kojonup, 4 goals 6 the home side Southerners, 5 goals adrift. Ball's just chucked onto the boot, but in the way is Brent Clark, the big full-back for the Kojonup side, and he takes the relieving mark. Goes inside and finds Tonkin. Tonkin gets a handball over to Abbott, who's been terrific. Abbott looks out there for Blakers. I think him and Blakers might have shifted out of the middle. Big Mitch Blakers. He's got Hamish Omaday for company. Gets rid of him with ease. Comes back into the middle of the ground. And there's that player in O'Shea. And O'Shea will go back and have a shot on goal from about 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
And again, we see that frenetic ball movement off half-back and, even with a mark in the middle of the ground, played on, got that overlap handball going, and away, they're on their way again.
O'Shea's been terrific in this game so far. In he comes now, deliberate shot on goal. He hits that a little bit thin and it just goes through for a minor score. They're just so polished by foot, aren't they, Kojonup? They run for each other. They set a lot of their play up from halfback, especially Jamie Marinoni, and then they all move up a line, and all of a sudden they've got numbers everywhere and options to choose from.
Yeah, and conversely, we see this slower style of play from Southerners, and they're creating loose players. It's just harder work for them for I think the Cougars at the moment.
Jack Kabassi takes the mark, goes inboard and finds Tyson Jacob on centre wing. Jacob looks there for Sprigg. In the way is O'Shea. He's well tackled. Gets the handball out to Sam Jackson. Jackson comes over to Bellotti. He just chucks the ball onto his boot. In front of Jasper is Harry Taylor. Gets around him with ease. Gets around Jacob, goes short and finds Jermaine Weasel about 45 metres out from goal on a slight angle. He's got Van Verhoosen running short for him. He's going to go that way. And Van Verhoosen takes the mark. And we'll have a shot on goal from about 30 metres out on a very tight angle.
Another one that's been good today, and we may just see in the team listing that comes out Monday, so bit of a nightmare for the graphics board. There's a lot of letters in that name, and you'd think with a surname like Karks I'd be better at pronouncing it, but we're right behind this one.
In he comes now. He's pushed that across the face of goal. It's still in play, and over the back is a big young ruckman for Southerners, Tyson Jacob, and he takes a terrific contested mark. Been told to play on now. Had to drive the ball long. Kojonup have the numbers. Goes over the top of Norrish. The ball comes out to Bellotti. Back to Tonkin. Tonkin gets a handball out. Try to go short, but Alex Kabassi cuts it off. Tries to get the handball over to Gill. Asks a fair bit of him. Here comes to Clark. He chucks the ball onto his boot. In front is Omaday. In comes Hamish Omaday. Out it comes to Cody Jasper. He's under pressure. Gets it back to Hamish Omaday. Over to Lachlan Hughes. Terrific pick up by the youngster. Tries to get the handball over to Jack Omaday. In they come now. In comes Hughes once again. And he's wrapped up there by Charlie Tonkin. And the umpire will come in and throw the ball up right in the middle of the ground. I just like Lachlan Hughes' second efforts. He might make a mistake, but geez, he gets back in there to have another go at it, doesn't he?
He's been fantastic. He absolutely does not look out of place at league level. And look, standing up here, what's really caught the eye in this quarter, as it has all game, is the battle of the big men.
As Ben Kabassi gets his opponent out of the way with ease, gets the short kick over to Sprigg, and Sprigg from the top of the square puts through another one for Southerners, and they close that margin now. 5 goals 6, 36. 9 goals 7, 61. 25 points adrift of Kojonup.
Yeah, we know that big men are worth their weight in gold in football, and the athleticism though of this pair from Southerners. We've seen Tyson Jacob, we've seen Omaday playing down back today, but they're both just so athletic. They move really, really well for big boys. And yeah, then we see the big lads from Kojonup. And again, a bit like the game overall, it's been a really good contrast in styles, the way the big men are going about it today.
Out, boys.
So far this quarter, Southerners have outscored Kojonup 2-1. Ball back in the middle of the ground, comes over to Thompson. Just chucks the ball onto his boot. It comes back to Jacob. He throws the ball onto his boot. Riley Gill, get there first. He does so. Tries to get around Jamie Marinoni. They have the numbers here. They drive the ball long through McRae. It goes down. Now Kojonup have the numbers. In comes Kabassi. Could have been done holding the ball. The umpire sees it that way. And Ben Kabassi will have a shot on goal. Back to back here for the home side. To reduce that margin once again, he'll shoot from about 50 metres out, directly in front. Terrific tackle there by Kabassi.
Yeah, their pressure's been outstanding. Given the way Kojonup do move the football, the pressure from Southerners has been fantastic all day, but this third quarter's been remarkable.
So Ben Kabassi kicked a terrific goal, opening goal of this third quarter for Southerners. In he comes now. It's a good-looking kick. It's a great-looking kick from Ben Kabassi. He puts through his second for the third quarter. And back-to-back goals for the home side. 6 goals, 6, 42, 9 goals, 7, 61. The 19 points adrift now of Kojonup, so this quarter is proving to be profitable. 3-1 so far as we move closer to time on in this third quarter. They're just so smooth by foot, all the Kabassi boys, and 50 metres for them is nothing. So, when they get within range, there's a fair chance that they're going to get the result they're looking for.
Their ball skills are fantastic, especially by foot, but and we know that Ben anywhere near goals is dangerous.
And they just don't get flustered, do they? They get they get looked after, not looked after, but they warrant respect. They just keep on keeping on. The ball's one out of the middle once again in the direction of Lockie Hughes. Sam McRae for Southerners gets a lucky bounce. Looking there for Kabassi once again. Gets his player out of the way, but it goes over his head. That was Daniel Kabassi. The ball might have went out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, I think it's just
got out of bounds on the full. Relieving kick for Kojonup will be taken by Clancy Norris.
Front shoulder, so
He drives the ball long, looking there for Jamie Marinoni, and over the top of McRae, he takes a terrific mark. Goes in short and finds Weasel. Centre wing. Kojonup maintaining control of the footy so far. Goes long. Over the back comes the experience in Tommy Collins. All he's done is spoil it in front of Jamie Marinoni. He gets the ball down and Gibbonson's got himself out the back of the pack. And he's taken the mark about 45 metres out from goal. Luciv runs down. Over the back comes Luciv. From behind Tom Bendotti. Takes a terrific contested mark and will go back and have a shot on goal from the top of the goal square to get one back and increase this margin once again.
Yeah, Luciv's positioning then was fantastic, heading back towards the square. Bendotti got caught a little bit underneath him and the kick came in high.
So no trouble there for Luciv as they respond after Southerners kicked a couple of goals in a row. A terrific effort there by Luciv. He was the one right in front of us here. Made a contest and then ran on as Gibbons got out the back of the pack and had some freedom and put it in the right spot there, and Luciv made no mistake with the mark, and then from 10 metres out put through his second for the quarter. And once again they stretch that margin. 10 goals 7, 67, 6 goals 6, 42, 25 points leaders are the Cougars as Jackson wins clean possession out of the middle, and Weasel takes a terrific mark at ground level in front of Omadei. Told to play on, he goes long now. Luciv v Collins. Collins comes over the top, gets the handball down. What's done Jasper handball straight to Gibbons. And Gibbons has had a snap on goal. And out of nowhere, Gibbons has put through his first for the game. And within a minute, back-to-back goals for the Cougars stretches this margin once again back out to just over 5 goals.
Yeah, fantastic snap. Ball came off hands and he was in the right place at the right time. Bit of strength and broke loose. Really clean kick. And the kick coming out of the middle shows the advantage of playing in front. That first scrappy kick from the middle landed straight in Weasel's arms and set them up for a forward sortie and 2 goals back to back, and they've just put some breathing space now between them and Southerners.
It's a terrific mark there by Weasel. It's inches off the ground. I mean, he's not a tall fella, but that was a terrific mark. The ball goes forward and Sam McRae for Southerners has been awarded a free kick. Got players out wide if he wants him, looking there for Kabassi. Kabassi nearly takes the mark. In comes Hughes. Just had too much in the air, that ball from McRae. And allowed Norwich to come through and make it spoil. Ball's thrown up. Over the top comes Jacob. Comes down to Daniel Kabassi. Could have been taken high. And the umpire sees it that way. A little bit of feeling down there inside Southerners forward 50, but Kabassi played that well, and he'll have a shot on goal from about 45 metres out. Getting a little bit tense down there, but all sorted out now. And Kabassi to have a shot on goal to get one back for Southerners. Well, he's seen his brother do it from here, so it shouldn't be a problem. Decides to go short. And who did he look for? His brother. Why wouldn't you? So Daniel Kabassi watered the free kick just inside 50. Goes short to his brother Ben. And Ben Kabassi kicked a terrific goal early in this quarter. He's kicked 2 actually. We'll go back and have a shot on goal to reduce this margin to 25 points as we go into 3/4 time.
And I reckon we know what Ben would do during play, but of course he hasn't got that option just at the minute, so he's going to have to kick over the mark.
If anyone can do it, he can. In he comes now. He goes the banana. And he's hit that a little bit thin, and it just goes through for a minor score. So as we move into 3/4 time, 6 goals, 7. 5 points adrift to the Kojonup Cougars are 11 goals, 7. Terrific quarter of footy. 3 goals apiece. Should be a terrific last 20 minutes of footy.
Yeah, we just saw the 2 teams clustered together a bit as the siren went and they'd all gathered for that shot on goal. Look, bit of feeling in this one. I think Southerners, they knew it was going to be a tough day. They're against really strong opponents. A little bit short-handed today and several players out, and some players that they'd love to have with them today, like Nick Cicero, who's not here today, and a couple of others. Kojonup, conversely, it's the longest trip in the league, and they've come here as the ladder leaders, and I think they're probably a little bit frustrated with the way the day's panning out, albeit they're in front on the scoreboard, but I don't think they thought it was going to be as tough a contest as it's proving to be. And Southerners, they're showing a lot of spirit today.
Well, I just think their forward pressure has been right on from the start of the game. They've maintained that physical pressure, all within the rules. They've got some real quality down there in the Kabassi boys. But their pressure is just putting unwanted pressure on Kojonup. As you said, I think they thought they were going to come here, maybe be a little bit further in front and go through, not the motions, but, have an easy win and then just travel back home. But Southerners are keeping themselves in the game, and only for those last couple of goals from Luciff and Gibbons that really pushed this margin back out to what it is now, 30 points. So they've done everything to keep themselves in the game, and if they're good enough, they're close enough.
Yeah, look, I think you can see it in Kojonup celebrations. I think we saw one really spirited celebration from O'Shea for a goal in the second quarter. We saw a bit of a celebration with Gibbons just because it was an outstanding snap off hands. But we saw, I think, Lucif's goal before that and Lucif's from the 50. They were both pretty muted celebrations. So, I think Kojonup are finding it just a tougher day than they expected it to be. From my seat, every time I see a player hit the deck, I'm looking at numbers and hoping it's not someone that's supposed to be in the Carnival team next week. But look, fantastic contest so far, and I think we're seeing some of the players today in the class that they have, and really, starting to look forward to seeing them in action in 6 days' time. Our first game on Friday morning.
And Tommy Collins, who we did interview a couple of weeks ago, doesn't look out of place playing league footy still.
Absolutely not.
He's just gives them a presence down back, gives them that bigger body as well. And it's really good to have him there with the young backline that they have in Omaday and a few others. And I think, your Gills and Tyson Jacobs, Sam McRae's, young Wilson, they all look up to him. Young Hughes has been terrific as well. So when he runs out there, he's a real presence. He's a class act as a football player and as a person. So to have him there is making a huge difference to the way they play. Tom Bendotti's been good today as well. So they've all stepped up. And I think when he come on, the whole back line just lifted. Well, they've made some mistakes, but they're not making as many as they would have if he wasn't there.
No, look, Ben Dottie's been fantastic, and yeah, Tom Collins, I mean, he's doing a great job running the club. But you know, his defensive, like he had a couple of really strong spoils on Lucev in that quarter. You know, played him from the back shoulder, got a fist through the ball, and sent it pretty much back where the kick had come from on 2 different occasions. Got caught once with Lucev going back, and yeah, ultimately, I think he's played Lucev really well. And both the goals from Lucev in that quarter were, you know, one was a 50, which had nothing to do with Collins, and the other, you know, was a race back to the square, and Collins was caught up with the play, and the kick came in, and Lucev was in the right place. So, yeah, I think for Collins' part, he's done a magnificent job so far today.
I think what the young kids have got to get used to too, when you've got a bigger body there, the spoils aren't right at the contest feet. They're probably 10 metres away, so that's where Kojonup is sitting off. So the young kids are there because they want the footy, but when you've got a bigger body, the spoil goes a lot further out. So
absolutely,
it's all about experience. It's easy to say from up here, but they're playing a really good brand of footy. Just about ready to move into the 4th quarter here. Don't forget, Filming Footy, Country Week Champs, all games are free. www.youtube.com/Filming Footy. First time that the Lower South West for a long time have sent a senior side up, so it'll be interesting to see how they go.
Yeah, and the action starts for us against North Midlands at midday on Friday down at Gil Fraser Reserve in North Fremantle, before we follow up with a game against Mortlock at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So the 2 games on Friday and then 2 games to follow on Saturday up at Joondalup.
So the format for them, Berrin, are they halves or are they four quarters of footy?
No, so they'll the pool games are 2 halves of 22 minutes.
Yep.
So yeah, about an hour break between our 2 games on Friday, and then I believe we're playing 2 hours apart on Saturday as well. We've got Esperance at 12:30 and Central Wheatbelt at 2:30.
I look forward to seeing that. I'm actually coming up to have a look at a few games up there involved with the Filming Footy crew. I've got South West games actually, but I look forward to the results, and I just hope being back there we do well and commit to that for a long period of time, because it's such an important part of development, but it's a good way to make friends and actually play with guys you play against most of the year. That's what I found to be the most important part of it.
Yeah, and I know for Gavin Norrish and his coaching crew, and you know, we're seeing Alex in action today, and Lyndon Muir who's helping. You know, it's a really important part. You know, we want to be competitive. We think we've got a side that can absolutely be competitive. But apart from that, it's about a good experience for the players who have been there potentially, like Lee Lucev, who was been 7 years ago. But a lot of our squad have never experienced the country championships, and we want them to have a good experience, and we want the word coming back to clubs and the players. And you know, I think we've got probably most of the players that we would have liked to put their hand up across the league, but you know, there's probably a couple missing. But we want the word coming back so that next year players are looking forward to and absolutely proactively putting their hand up and saying, right, how do I get into the Carnival team this year? I want to be part of it.
Absolutely. Opening score of the last quarter, shot on goal by Kojonup. Goes through for a minor score. Far side of the ground, comes back to Ben Kabassi, who's been terrific. It's a handball over to Ridley. Set upon there, he's got 4 Kojonup players for company. Wins the free kick. And Jay Ridley, centre wing, far side of the ground, will drive the ball forward for his team. Comes in the middle of the ground, looking there for Jack Omaday. Could have been paid a free kick. Handball comes out to Norrish. Drives the ball down, looking for Taylor. Gets his player under the ball in Jasper. It's just Taylor in the goals now. It's tackled there by Jacob. Comes over to Weasel. And somehow Weasel got a bootlace on that, and the opening score of the last quarter goes away of the away side in the Kojonup Cougars, courtesy of a soccer from the goal square in Jermaine Weasel.
Did well to get a boot on that after Taylor's hard work in the lead up, and yeah, be very happy to start the last quarter with a goal early.
Just smart play there by Taylor, just led hard, knew where the ball was going, then pushed back and had Weasel there for support and managed to get a bootlace on that. And the opening goal, 12 goals 9 the Cougars, 6 goals 7 the home side Southerners. Opening goal of the last quarter stretches that margin just a little bit more. Ball back in the middle of the ground, one down there by Jacob, comes over to Matthew Marinoni. He just drives the ball onto his left boot. Lucev v Collins, over the back comes the experienced player, and Tommy Collins takes a terrific mark. He goes long, looking there for Sam McRae, in front of Norrish. Gets the bounce that he wanted. He's tackled beautifully there by Norrish, and the umpire sees it that way. It's Tonkin. The umpire's paid a sling here. I thought he paid dropping the ball. Sam McRae, it's a free kick. Looking there for Sprigg. He's surrounded. Comes over to Jamie Marinoni. Handball's there to Clark. Clark just drives the ball onto his boot. Back in the direction of Sam McRae. Could have been pushed in the back. Gets a handball out to Tom Bendotti, who's been terrific. Back to McRae. He's well met there by Van Verhoosen. Gets the handball out to the skipper for Kojonup and Marinoni. And he goes down the side of the ground and finds Luciv. He plays on straight away. And Taylor in front of Jasper takes the mark. And we'll have a shot on goal from about 50 metres out. On a very slight angle, nearly directly in front. Hasn't had a lot of shot on goals today, Taylor. He's been happy to give the ball off, so be interesting to see what he does here. What a pickup he's been.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been heavily involved today without perhaps getting on the scoreboard as often as he can.
Jeez, he's got a fair piece of that. He's got more than a fair piece of that. And why wouldn't he kick the ball from 50 metres out? Taylor just goes bang. Back-to-back goals to start the last quarter here down at Pemberton Sports Oval as Kojonup increase this margin once again. And Taylor, as you said, Baron, has been happy to give the ball off today and be very unselfish from 50 metres. That's carried everyone by about 4 or 5 metres straight over top of the goal umpire's hat for his first for the day.
Yeah, look, class kick, and last week he got on the scoreboard, him and Lee, with regularity against Tigers, but today it's been a different type of performance from him. A lot of the footy been involved in a lot of their build-up play and gets his first in the last quarter.
Ball's one down there by Sprigg, who's been pushed into the ruck. Marinoni gets a handball out, goes to Collins. He gets a handball to Ridley, could have been deemed a throw. The umpire sees it that way, and Luciv will take the relieving free kick in the middle of the ground. Looks down and finds Taylor once again. Well, he shouldn't be looking for passes after his last effort.
Oh, he's outside 50 this time, but still somehow think he's having a shot.
So Harry Taylor will have a shot again, just outside 50, 45-degree angle. We're right behind this one. In he comes now. He's got a fair piece on that as well as Harry Taylor. Back-to-back goals from outside 50. The opening 3 goals of the last quarter go the way of the Cougars. They've stretched this margin to 8 goals now. 50 points, 6 goals 7, 14 goals 9. That's a terrific couple of kicks from Taylor.
Yeah, look, when you can kick him like that, you're absolutely entitled to have a ping, whether you're outside 50 or not. And yeah, that's a great pair of kicks from an experienced player who does this year in, year out. But yeah, that's a marvellous couple of kicks from range.
Haven't times changed? When you push you forward outside 50 back in my day, that was enough to suggest that he wasn't going to get there. But they do it with these days. Middle of the ground, Hayden gets the handball over to Matt Marinoni, over to Van Hoosen. He just puts the ball onto his boot. Gibbons dropped what he should have taken. It comes over there to Amade, out to Kabassi, and Kabassi finds Alex Kabassi in the middle of the ground. He's going to go short, has his skipper in Seaton Thompson, and he takes a terrific contested mark in front of Van Verhoosten, and will have a shot from about 50 metres out on a slight angle.
2 potential teammates next week, and another couple running past as well in Kabassi, or the 2 Kabassi boys.
Yeah, Country Week's a funny thing. You can be scrapping one week and teammates the next, but that's the nature of what it is, isn't it? Crosses 50 now. It's Thompson. It's going to drop right at the goal square. Mark in front there is taken by Norrish for the Cougars. And some terrific 1%ers down there today, Norrish. Stopped a couple of certain goals. Second quarter, he goes short and finds Jamie Marinoni. He has Pethick in the middle of the ground, takes the mark, plays on straight away, just drives the ball onto his boot. In front is Taylor. He lets it bounce. It goes past him and his opponent in Jasper. In comes Tommy Collins. Over to Ridley. In comes Weasel. In comes Abbott as well for Kojonup. He's got a player in Luciv out the back. Luciv drops what he should have taken. In comes Tommy Collins and pushes the ball through for a rush behind.
Fantastic
and saves
work.
a certain goal there for Kojonup.
Wonderful work then from the Southerners defender to get back and effect a spoil without giving away a free kick to Luciv then, heading back towards the footy. Did that really, really well.
Been terrific today. As Omade, Hamish plays on straight away, goes out wide looking for Hughes, and Hughes has been awarded a free kick in front of Gibbons. Been terrific today, Hughes. A real player of the future. Got players short, decides to go long now, looking for Jacob. He gets well sport. Marinoni's first back. He's met there by Alex Kabassi for Southerners. Pushes him out of bounds and the ball will be thrown in. Centre wing, right in front of the commentary box. 14 goals, 10 Kojonup. 6 goals, 7 Southerners. Jackson gets front position. In comes Hughes. Keeps the ball in front of him and pushes the ball out of bounds. And once again, the ball will be thrown in centre wing. Nearly in the same spot.
And we talk about our carnival next week. We've also got Colts as part of the Nutrien Ag Solutions Championships, and much as we don't have our own Colts side, we're very likely to have a few appearing for the regional district's Red Dog side.
And that's another opportunity, is it, for our Colts age players to experience country week with a different group of fellas and play, you know, quality footy against good opposition. Inside forward 50 for Southerners. Norris tries to get the ball away, but in comes Jack Omade, and the ball will be thrown up about 40 metres out from Southerners' goal. 51 points adrift. Opening 3 goals of this last quarter going the way of Kojonup. Ball's one out now there by Jamie Marinoni. He gets a beautiful pass and finds Taylor centre wing. Taylor's got players running short, has Marinoni short. He will take the mark and play on. Looks down there for Luciv. He's got Tommy Collins for company, and across the front comes Collins. Wins the ball, but the boundary's the winner on this one. And it goes out of bounds. It'll be thrown in about 70 metres out from Kojonup's goal.
So we haven't seen the final team name for regional districts yet, but they certainly did inquire about 6 Lower South West players following the carnival in Coolin the other week. They had shortlisted Jed Edwards, Kai McGinty, Max Wilson, Sam Doherty, and one player we're seeing out here today, Hamish Omade, as well as Tayton Smith, who again Southerners but not playing today.
It's a terrific effort. So if they do make the squad, all the best to those guys. As Jasper gets the handball back, goes down there looking for Daniel Kabassi. He's got players running past, and one of them is Jack Kabassi. He's going to have a shot on goal. It's all about the bounce here, but it goes through for a minor score. And let off there. Good movement of the ball from defence into attack. And an opportunity missed there by the home side to claw one back. Jamie Marinoni will bring the ball in, and he has Pethick still inside defensive 50 and takes an uncontested chest mark. Goes down there looking for Jackson, and at the back of the pack in front of Jacob, Sam Jackson takes the chest mark. Uncontested. He goes down once again, and there's that man that's kicked the last couple of goals, Harry Taylor. Too far out to score this time, surely. Looking down there, and that's a terrific pass from Taylor, and he's found Kyron Hayden, and he'll have a shot on goal from about 35 metres out in a 45-degree angle. Already got one today in the second quarter, Hayden, pretty much from the same spot, so he looks a player as well.
Yeah, look, Hayden was on North Melbourne's list for a while, and absolute class player. Really, really exciting to have him in the league this year playing for Kojonup, and yeah, we've seen his class at times today.
In he comes now. He's going to land short. Goes across the face of goal. It's been rushed through for a minor score.
Taylor's movement in this last quarter has been wonderful. He's taken 3-4 marks on the lead and his 2 fantastic goals, and that kick that hit Hayden, that was a brilliant lace-out pass.
I think he played in a couple of premierships for Margaret River, back-to-back premierships not that long ago. Come over to Kojonup and won one that year, so he played in 3 in a row. Yeah, he's definitely got pedigree, but he's definitely got some wheels as well. He can start shoulder to shoulder with young Jasper, and in the space of 10 metres, he's got a couple of metres on him, so he's sneaky long. Ball in the middle of the ground, mark taken there by Tommy Collins. He goes into the middle and finds the young ruckman who's been terrific today in Tyson Jacob.
He's an outstanding young talent, Tyson Jacob.
Collins takes the mark once again, goes short and finds Jack Kabashi still in the middle of the ground.
And then we see the work rate there from Jacob. He just disposed of the footy and then ran hard 30, 40 metres, presented again.
He's going short here at the moment, Southerners. Tom Bendotti takes the mark. He's got Hughes short and Lachlan Hughes takes the mark. Right on centre wing. Good ball movement at the moment as Jack Omaday, right in front of the interchange box, takes another uncontested mark. He's have to go long this time. Looks there for Gill, and that's a terrific mark by the youngster in Riley Gill. Right on 50 in front of his much bigger and more experienced opponent in Clark. Riley Gill goes short now looking for Sprigg. It goes over his head. And the man of the moment in Travis Abbott takes the relieving mark. Player on the far side of the ground. Coach the captain, Matthew Marinoni takes the mark. Still inside defensive 50. Finds his brother Jamie. Just controlling the game at the moment. He goes back and finds Marinoni. Matthew. Just need the man up here, Sudders. Try and turn that ball over. 5 possessions, still inside defensive 50. Charlie Tonkin it is now. Being told to play on. In comes Tonkin, but he's given away the free kick. And Ben Kabassi will reload once again from just on 50. Might be too far out to score for Kabassi. Hughes running short if he wants him.
Sliding into the pocket.
Might use his brother here. Still there on his own. In he comes now. Crosses 50, being told to play on. It's a good looking shot at goal. It's going to land at the top of the goal square. In comes Gill. Gill snaps on goal and puts through his first for the day. And Sudden's first for the quarter.
Been so impressed with Riley Gill today. I think from the reaction, I think that's his first senior goal. And you know, he took a really strong mark on 50 a couple of minutes ago. We'd already talked about him in the third quarter, and you know, his performance today has been wonderful. You know, second league game of footy, he played against Imperials last week. Unfortunately, we've got a player down for Kojonup, which doesn't look good.
Could be Tonkin up there. Call for the stretcher. A bit of a hold up in play here. Kojonup play. I didn't see what happened there. It was in the contest. Doesn't look good. It's been well attended to there by both trainers from both sides, so hope for the best. Could have done a knee here potentially, which is not great.
Definitely looked like an awkward landing in that contest at the square that led up to Gill's goal. Yeah, never like to see stretches on the ground, and obviously some concern at the moment for, I think you're right, I think it is Tonkin down there.
I think it's Tonkin. He's been terrific today. And some really good work deep in defence, so let's hope for the best. And hopefully he's okay. So Tonkin will leave the field here. He's taken the gloss slightly off Gill's goal, who's been terrific, but obviously an awkward landing right in the goal square. Play resumes now. Jacob wins the ball down, comes over to Thompson. He's wrapped up Marinoni, and just forward to centre, Sudden's way, the ball will be thrown up once again. Ashton gets Jacob out of the way with ease, puts it in the direction of Weasel, who's been good. Just about tackled there by Omaday, gets the ball down, over the back, it's Collins, v. Luciv. In they come now, Collins uses his size, and the umpire's seen that he's pushed him into the post. And he's awarded a free kick, and I think it'll go the way of Luciv.
Yeah, made contact
right on the point post. Not sure about that one. Elusive has an uncanny knack of making a miraculous recovery if the goals are within a certain meterage, which is about what it is now. Anyway, plays on now from the point post, snaps on goal, and it's hit it thin, and it goes through for a minor score. So I don't think there's anything untoward in that one. It's just a side bump into the point post.
Gilly, keep getting in it, Gilly, keep presenting, mate.
He's a strong man, our Tommy Collins.
Look, albeit the scoreboard, at the moment, it's 7 goals odd the difference. But I think from a Southerner's perspective, you'd have to look at the young players that they've brought in over the last couple of weeks, and some of the players that were already there. But Lockie Hughes has been fantastic. Hayden Wilson, second league game, played against Imperials last week. We've talked a bit about Riley Gill, Tyson Jacob, Hamish Omadai. There's so much young talent in this Southerners side. Their Colts are travelling exceptionally well. I think they're undefeated from memory. There's a lot to like about the youth that they're bringing through their system.
If they can keep this side together in the next couple of years, they're going to be dangerous. And I think they're dangerous this year, to be perfectly honest. Once they get their full team back, they have an uncanny history over a long period of time to just make the 4 and end up with the chocolates at the end. And I've been on the back end of a couple of those during my career. So a couple of players down the front here were part of that, which they're pretty happy about. Reminded me today, it was 24 years ago, mind you, but they were pretty happy about it. So mark has been taken here by Taylor. He's going to have another shot on goal here from 50 metres out, directly in front. Kick 2 rippers from this range. In he comes now. Don't know if he's got as much on this one as the last couple. Has the mark been taken? Umpire says yes. The mark has been taken. Right on the goal line there, and I think it's young Mitch Blake. He's going to have a shot on goal. Plays on now, snaps over his body. Straight over the goal umpire's hat. A little lull in play. And Mitch Blake takes a terrific mark on the goal line and puts through his first for the day to stretch this margin once again.
And I suspect Harry will, despite the fact that was taken halfway between the goal post and the point post, I imagine Harry will be telling everyone tonight that that was the perfect spot-up kick and set up a goal assist.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I do the same.
Absolutely. You have to claim that. And he's got, he's had 2 marvellous kicks from distance this quarter, so if he wants to claim that was an assist, he can do so.
So 4 goals to 1 in this last quarter, stretch this margin out. Ball back in the middle of the ground, comes over to the skipper for Southerners in Thompson. And he's wrapped up there by Gibbons, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. 15 goals 12, Kojonup 7 goals 8, the home side Southerners. Margin's just blown out in this last quarter. They've been terrific all day. Ball socket forward in the direction of Taylor. Comes over there to Weasel, who's done well. Comes over there to Travis Abbott. Back to Bellotti. He's going to run in from 35 metres out. And he's tried the banana kick, which has nearly ended up in Northcliffe and gone out of bounds on the full. And relieving free kick, we brought back into play by young Hamish Omadai. So let off there for Southerners. Good chain of handballs. Bellotti missed one, should have got. In comes Omadai, goes short and finds his fellow defender in Ridley. Still inside defensive 50. Moving into time on. He tries to go short. Goes over Omadai's head. That is, he gets a handball over. Back to Thompson. Gets around his player with ease. He's got young McRae looking for him, but across the front of him comes Jamie Marinoni and spoils the ball out of bounds right in front of his own interchange box. And it'll be thrown in centre wing. Ashton gets front position, wins it down to Weasel. He's wrapped up there by Ben Kabassi, and once again the umpire will come in and throw the ball up.
And look, Southerners they're well placed at this point and a little bit short-handed today, but their best is very, very good. They've still been part of one of what I think has been one of the games of the season against Bridgetown back about round 7 or 8. That was an outstanding game of footy, I think, decided by 2 points, and Bridgetown are a fantastic side as well. I think what we've seen and what we're seeing, and we probably always do in country footy, but this year in this competition more so than most, it's really coming down to who has their best players available on any given week. I mean, we saw Dean Mill absolutely terrorised Kojonup a few rounds back, beat them by about 70, and this Kojonup side we know is a hell of a lot better than that. Conversely, we've seen Bridgetown dismantle Dean Mill. So, I think sides, if they can get their best sides on the park, the top 4 are incredibly even at the moment. Boyett Brook have got a couple of untimely injuries and I believe have lost Mitchell Kings for the rest of the season, but or certainly an extended period of time travelling. But yeah, the top, as it sits, the top 4 right now, with their best sides in, I think they're all capable of beating each other.
No, 100% agree. Ball's one down there by Alex Kabassi. He gets it, Daniel Kabassi gets around Gibbons with ease, has a shot on goal, that's Kabassi.
That's a great finish.
A terrific goal there by Daniel Kabassi. It just danced around Gibbons with ease. Van Verheusen was coming in strong, but Kabassi settled, kicked a terrific goal. Terrific effort in the middle of the ground. McRae, Jacobs, all those young guys we've spoken about through the call. So other than a couple of minutes that Sprigg relieved Jacobs in the middle of the ground in the ruck, he's rucked all day and he's done a terrific effort up against Jackson and Ashton. 2 veterans of this footy club. Wins it out once again. Gets a handball over to Ben Kabassi. Gets it over to Lachlan Hughes. Goes onto his left boot. Gill drops what he should have taken. Knocks it back out to Hughes, who followed up. Comes over to O'Shea. He's knocked it out. Into Gill. Bellotti. It's tough in there. Back to Jack Omaday. Over to Hayden. He's deemed without it. And Jack Omaday will take the relieving free kick right in front of his own interchange box.
And Jacobs' follow-up work from that centre bounce, coming out the front of the contest and picking up his own ground ball, that's the type of thing we don't see from a lot of rucks.
Over the top comes Abbott.
Unfortunately, it seems that Jacobs done a little bit of damage to himself with that pick-up out the front of the contest, but his athleticism and his ability to hit the ground is just remarkable.
It was him. Gill dropped the mark he should have taken, but he butted up, knocked the ball out to O'Shea. Omaday come in for support and won the ball back. So inside 50 comes over to Alex Kabassi, gets the ball out to Ben Kabassi. He's going to have a shot on goal, shouldn't miss from here, and he doesn't. Ben Kabassi, back-to-back goals for the home team. Been terrific all day. It's his 3rd for the day, Ben Kabassi. He's been terrific. Gets himself in the right positions and puts through another one. And 3rd for the quarter. So they're reducing this margin back to what it was at 3-quarter time. Kojonup a kick 4 in the last quarter. The home side a kick 3. It's a terrific goal. Set up there from his brother Alex. Danced around one, opened up the angle and made no mistake.
And I think Southerners deserve, they've put a couple in the row and, they've brought it back to the 7-goal margin. I think they deserve that. They've been fantastic today. Final siren as we speak.
So the siren goes here, Pemmican Sports Oval. Convincing margin to the Kojonup Footy Club, but they didn't have it their own way. Last couple of goals went the way of the home side in the Kabassi boys, Daniel and Ben. But they were terrific. Fought it out right to the end. Struggling a little bit with numbers, but that was a terrific effort. Margin's about 35 points. I'm not sure if that scoreboard is 100% correct, but it's a terrific effort. Great game of footy. Kojonup got that margin early, maintained it, pushed it out to 31, 37 points, and then Southerners just kept on fighting, reduced the margin to what it was at the end of the game. But a lot of positives for both teams out of that game. Not sure which one got the most out of it. I think Kojonup's forward line for me just looks potent. You look after one, there's others. Abbott pushed back in the last quarters. Blakers went forward. For me, that's going to be a real issue for defensive units going forward. I just like Southern's second efforts and just with the polish of the Kabassis, I think they got a lot of positives out of today's game as well. Yeah,
look, I think they'd be wrapped with some of the young talent that they've uncovered and shown can handle themselves at league level. I think from a Kojonup perspective, as you said, that forward line, we know what Taylor does, we know what Lucev does, but today we've seen Abbott go forward, take a couple of really strong marks, and again, we talk about Tyson Jacobs' athleticism. Abbott's a really, really smooth mover for a big man as well. We see Weasel drop down into that forward 50 and can create as well as kick goals himself, and we've seen it, I think, second and fourth quarter, we've seen even Kyron Hayden drop down and start in the goal square. So, if you've got Abbott deep 1 minute, then you've got, someone with the class of Hayden, you've got, Blakers popping down there as well. It's not only the personnel, it's the type of matchup you're looking for, because you go to put someone to deal with the height that Abbott offers starting out of that goal square, and then the next bounce, you've got Hayden in the goal square, totally different defensive opponent that you need back there, and then you've got Loose Evan Taylor, as I say, doing what they're going to do. But the matchups, trying to get that back five right for opposition clubs, I think it's just proving to be harder and harder as the season wears on, trying to work out how to deal with that front five of Kojonup, because it seems to be different every time they set up.
No, 100%. And I think they've got probably two of the best small forwards. I mean, if you look at Jermaine Weasel, no disrespect, but he plays as a high forward, and you wouldn't think he could run as much as he does. No disrespect to Jermaine, because he's a terrific player. Plays up, allows Luciv to play deep, and then vice versa, or they both can play there. So as small forwards, I think they've got the best two in the game, complemented with Hayden. Blake is he played in their premiership, so he knows how to play forward, but obviously he's got a bit of a tank now, and he's running through the middle of the ground. So, and they do slingshot a lot from half back down, and if you look forward, and this is the first time I've seen Kojonup this year, but they play a similar brand of footy as they have done in the last 4 or 5 years. It's going to be interesting with Dean Mill, because they slingshot off half back as well, so who's on who? So if there's a turnover and you're running down, well, it's going to come back with interest. So that's going to be a pretty high flow and high scoring game. And if there's turnovers, then the other team will make the other one pay. But I like the look of both sides, to be perfectly honest. I think Sprigg looks a real player down deep.
Yes.
Outnumbered. They've got to get the ball in quicker, because Kojonup push players back, so he's their focal point. He looks fantastic. I thought Tom Bendotti was fantastic. Jacobs, as his young Gill, Lachlan Hughes was terrific, copped a couple of big hits. They did everything that they had to do as young players. Mention once again, we had Paul Omaday playing with his young bloke Hamish, and we had Nathan playing with his young bloke in Jack. So that's just country footy 101. I just like what they offer. Young Jacob, I think he just needs a bit of support. Maybe not push forward as much, probably play that centre square where he can manage his effort, because he's basically 100% ruckman. So I don't like talking Southerners up too much, because they were my nemesis growing up. So, but look, they've got a lot to offer, and to me, Kojonup they just ooze class. They ooze class, and their foot skills are pretty smick.
It's a question I've been asked a little bit lately. Who do I think is going to be there deep in September? And I think Kojunup's best is very, very good. It's close to the best that we see. They've been there, done that. They've won a premiership 2 years ago. They were back in the grand final last year. It looks, we're not there yet, but it looks like if Kojonup make it, they'll be playing against a fresh opponent in the grand final who wasn't there last year. Obviously Boyup Brook were, and they've got some work to do now, Boyup Brook, to make the four. They've had a tough couple of weeks, but Kojunup's best is excellent. They're class, they're hard to match up on, but Dean Mill at their absolute best, their best is incredibly good as well. So and Bridgetown, again, once Bridgetown can get their game going, and if they're fully loaded, and they miss a few boys that are on sort of rosters and whatnot, and there sometimes and not others. So I think come finals they'll all be there though, and they'll put their best team on the park. And again, Bridgetown's best is incredibly good. They were fantastic. I think it was back in round 2 against Dean Mill. Dean Mill. And the contrast in styles, I think, that we're seeing in these top 4 clubs. Kojonup are super quick, as you say, they rebound from the back. Dean Mill love to move the footy from the back, and we talked about how hard Kojonup are to match up on in that front 50. They're probably Jackson Cahill back there for Dean Mill, and several other good defenders. But Cahill, we talked about him as potentially one of the best 3 defenders in the league at the moment. And talking to Gavin Norris the other day, and he said, I don't know about that. And I kind of raised an eyebrow, and he said, well, I think you're underwriting him by saying he's one of the best 3 defenders in the league at the moment. I think he's one of the best 3 players in the league. So, they've got plenty of class and plenty of talent back there. A really strong ruck as well in Archie Hall. Yep. And then Bridgetown have got Alex Stewart. So, we're seeing some really good ruck combinations and individual efforts around the league at the moment. So I think that's going to be a watch for the next, 5 rounds and finals. There's some fantastic midfields getting around. And then, if we see Kojonup are difficult to match up on forward. Dean Mill have probably got a bit more of a traditional setup down forward. They've got that absolute power forward and Jordan Strawn. And then they've got a couple of classy small forwards that can get at his feet and get on the scoreboard. And then Southerners, we see the class of Kabassi, who is just a really, several Kabassis, but Ben in particular is just a really difficult matchup. He's quick, he's agile, he's surprisingly good overhead for his size, and then they can throw someone down there, who can create goals in different ways. And Bridgetown, again, they've got Tilby kicking goals, they've got Kalani Brooks kicking goals. They're able to probably generate goals from at Wilson, who's been doing it for a long time for them. So, I think Bridgetown have probably got the most different ways to hit the scoreboard. Kojonup are a nightmare to match up on. So it's going to be a fascinating last 5 weeks of regular season football when we come back from the break after next week. We've got one more game this week, of course, with Dean Mill and Imperials tomorrow. We've got Tigers playing Boyup Brook, which should have just finished about 20 minutes before our game here. But the last 5 weeks plus finals is going to be a really, really exciting time for the league.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's just Kojonup have an ability to cut through to the whole ground with their put skills, so that's a plus for them. For D Mill, I think they've got class all over the ground. The only issue I see, and I've only seen them a couple of times, is sometimes if their forward line's not working, they've got to take someone out of the back, and that could become an issue. Hopefully not, but they've got to take, say, a Blake East to go forward, who sets a lot of their rebounding stuff off the back line. The big plus for D Mill is they're going to gain probably 2 or 3 long-term injuries after the country week situation. So Joshua Reeve, Kester Decky and Riley Mason are due to come back into that league side. So they'll be pretty much, if it's not the first game after country week, the second one, they'll be back to full strength. So we'll see how that goes. But they've got to match fitness. They've all been out since the first game, believe it or not. So they've had, it's long-term in a 14-game season. So before we wrap this up, 9 goals, 7, the home side. Defeated by Kojonup, 15 goals to 12, so 41 points. The margin doesn't indicate what sort of game it was. Terrific game of footy, just blew out a little bit towards the end there. Don't forget, Filming Footy, the Country Week champs are on this week. All games are free, www.youtube.com/Filming Footy. We'd like to thank our major broadcast partners in Triple M, Rocks Footy and Taliesin. And from me, Weaver, Nigel Reeve, all the best for Senior Country Week.
Thank you.
All the best to the young guys that make the Colts Carnival. Thanks to Cameron, who's been on the camera all day. I know we've sort of gone on a little bit too much, mate, but hopefully everyone's listening. But I think it's important to get it out there as we move closer into the finals, what we think as unbiased onlookers of the game. The Lower South West is a terrific league that produces a lot of really hard footballers, a lot of first-class, even AFL footballers. And from what we've seen today, there's a lot of players that could go on and play in a higher league. Obviously, we had a North Melbourne listed player today. But, from Pemberton Sports Oval, great win by Kojonup. Both teams, a lot of positives. So we look forward to Country Week and all the best, mate. Thank you.
Thank you, Nigel. Really good day for Thai Power League football, and look forward to a really good performance next week, hopefully.
Thanks, mate.
No, thank